So I only recently returned to playing Aion Classic actively, and I haven't completed the Book of Adventure at this point. As most people, I searched for a video that would show me how to exactly complete this. Now, Smithy made a video for this on the Asmodean side, which I will link in the description. But for the Elyos side, there is nothing to be seen. So let me be the saving grace for everyone that is a bit late and hasn't completed this yet on the Elyos side. You can start this quest by talking with this Shugo in Ingison. After a bit of talking to NPCs, you have to collect 3 different items in the Upper Abyss. They are these earth molds that you can find at the Draken Wreck, Draken Fall and the Grave of Claws. After you collected the items, you again have to talk to some people, but this time you also have to talk to a man named Poevius. He appears at the Storm Circle in Hyron, where Balvik is. The problem with this guy is that he is time gated, meaning he's only there between 3 AM and 5 AM in-game time. You can see what time it is up here, and all of this running back and forth that we will do now will take multiple spawns of Poevius. He has us collecting multiple notes that he dropped. The first note is at the top platform in the Storm Circle here. After you picked it up, quickly go back to him, and he will ask you to search for the next note. This one is above the new Hyron Gate, on top of the platform with the Abyss Gate. After you got this one, you have to go back to Poevius again, and he asks you to search for the third note. He says he has lost it somewhere on his way to Altnan. And that is something a lot of people do not know, because it's not very useful. The regions in Aion can be traversed without using the teleporters. You can go from Hyron to Altnan right here, and this is where the third node is. With the third node you return to Poevius, and who would have guessed that this is still not the node that you need? The fourth and last node is at the entrance to the Draupnir Cave instance, and once again after obtaining the node, you have to return to Poevius. With this finished, the next time-gated person awaits you. It is Pater in Theobomos. He is only there between midnight and 1 AM in-game time. Now he sends you to the Upper Abyss. Here you simply have to kill guards of the fortresses, Croton, Kesis and Myron, until you get 1 item of each of them. And then you have to return to Pater when he spawns again. Next he sends you to Mahelnu in Hyron. Mahelnu is there between 1 AM and 2 AM, so you should be able to get there in time without any problem. She wants you to get some items from the Lepharists in the research center here. And since Mahelnu is only there for 1 hour, you will most likely have to wait for another spawn after getting the items. Just like every other NPC in this questline, she needs more of you. This time she sends you to Ingison, where you have to kill some Balaur near the fortresses and collect 10 items. After giving these to Mahelnu, she sends you once again to Ingison to kill dragon-bound enemies and get 10 items from them. After bringing these to Mahelnu, you have to be quick because the next person you have to talk to is Belicanon in Theobomos. And he is there between 2 AM and 3 AM, so if you are quick, you will make it there in time. Belicanon sends you to the Tigraki Island in the Abyss to talk to the Shugo Gaoshinurk. And he is always there, so no time gating this time. Gaoshinurk now gives you the first dangerous mission, to talk to Windoshinurk in Lafzaran. He sometimes appears near the 3rd and 4th Lafzaran garrison, so hopefully you have some luck. I apparently don't have much luck since I had to run there so many times until he finally appeared. Anyway, after a quick talk within the Chinook, he sends us back to Belicanon in Theobomos. Again, Belicanon is only there between 2 AM and 3 AM. With this done, you now have 5 of the 11 pages, and you are sent back to Labyrinthus in Sanctum. And Labyrinthus sends you to Gerania in the secret library. She gives you your 6th page and sends you to Ingison to meet Karos. Karos is a guard in the altar of Avarice Fortress, and you can only go there and do the quest if your faction has the fortress. To get the required items from Karos, he wants you to gather a few materials for him. Now it is up to you if you gather them yourself or simply buy them from other players. But if you want to gather it yourself, you will need 435 points in essence tapping. With all these items in your inventory, you can return to Karos and receive the item you need. Before you leave the fortress though, you should head to Distine and buy the quest item called Verdigris Powder. You will need that later to finish this quest line. Now with the item from Karos, you can return to Gerania in the secret library, and she will give you another page. For the next page, she sends you to Thalia in the Temple of Scales Fortress in Ingison. Now again, the same as with Karos before, you can only do this quest if your faction is holding the fortress. Thalia wants different poison items. Most of them can be found in the Silentera Canyon. And the last one you need, that simply says horn, and then it is cut off, it means horned roach. And that one you get from the Black Cloud Island in the Upper Abyss. With that finished, you can return to Thalia and receive her restoration tool. Before you leave the fortress, don't forget to buy the quest powder that you will need later. Now you can return to Gerania in the secret library and receive page number 8. The next restoration tool awaits you in the Forgaltem Citadel in Gelkmaros. For that, again your faction needs to hold the fortress. Stanis wants us to collect 2 special die from 2 different Shugos in the Silentera Canyon. Both Shugos have 3 different spawn points, and I can't tell you when they actually appear on which spot. However, I can tell you that I found Pradaknurk at the Forgaltem Pass at 7 PM in-game time. The other Shugo, Armanurk, spawned at 6 AM in-game time at the Hanukkah Pass. Now, this took a lot of time, and I don't think their in-game time actually matters. In online forums, a lot of people say they spawn every 4 hours, with a 33% chance on one of these locations, and then they stay there for 10 minutes and then disappear. But that didn't seem to be true either. Instead, I would suggest to look at these locations every hour at 35 minutes. For example, 8:35, 9:35 and so on. Because as you can see in these pictures, I found Pradaknurk at 1:37 AM real time, and I found Armanurk at 10:34 AM real time. I really don't know any more than that, but hopefully it helps you. With these items you can then return to Stanis at the Forgaltem Citadel and receive his restoration tool. And with that, another page for your book of adventure. Before you leave, don't forget to buy the powder from the vendor. You will need it for the last page. We now have 9 out of 11 pages, and as you could have guessed, the next restoration tool is in the Crimson Temple. Once again, your faction has to hold the fortress, so you will have to wait for another week. Hopefully you did buy all the powder from the fortresses, as I mentioned before, because Timenos here wants the powder from the 2 fortresses in Ingison and the 2 fortresses in Gelkmaros. Then he gives us the restoration tool, we once again return to Gerania and receive another page. With only one last page missing, we return to Eucleus, and he finally decides to tell us more about the emblem. He gives us the last page and we have completed it. With the completion we gain 10 million Kina, 5 Mana Stone bundles and a pretty good title. We also get a bit of lore text from the completed diary. And that's it. Thank you for watching, hopefully it helped some of you. Have a wonderful day and see you next time. Bye!